So what I like to say is you have a choice. Either you get your energy or a pendulum gets it. Hello, Transurfer, and welcome to TransurfingTV. My name is Renee Garcia, and this is my video on ignoring the pendulum's prod. Vadim Zeland talks about this in the book, and wow, are there so many pendulums prodding us these days? I mean, we really are getting poked and prodded all over the place, and it is it's kind of crazy to think of just being at the mercy of pendulums pre-reality transurfing, right? Not understanding that you don't have to take the bait. So this was my past life. I was just constantly embroiled in some kind of controversy with pendulums, or battling someone or something, or myself, my own inner pendulum, right? Because we can actually get prodded by ourselves to go into that inner screen and lose our awareness, right? To drift back and go into that carved neural pathway of non-awareness and suffer the consequences of not being awake. So this is exactly what ignoring the pendulum's prod is all about. It's about maintaining awareness, staying awake, and why exactly this is so valuable as a transurfer. So remember, we have our intention that we set, right? Our end goal, this super happy place that we want to get to, and we set this intention with good intentions, right? I'm going to see this through to the end, and it's going to be great, and I've got so much energy to go towards this thing that I've really deemed that I super love, and I want to see through to the end. And then something happens along the way. We get discouraged, we lose our energy to continue taking the steps towards our goal, and we lose sight of what it is we really want. This has happened to me dozens of times. I can't even begin to imagine how many times this has happened to me. And really what it boils down to is the pendulums in our reality either convince us that we're not capable, we're not worthy, or we don't have it, or they simply distract us and take our energy from us, energy that we could use to further ourselves and our own endeavors instead of feeding it to the pendulum. So this line of sight gets disrupted, and really it gets disrupted via pendulums, either taking your energy or convincing you otherwise of your direction. So what I like to say is you have a choice. Either you get your energy or a pendulum gets it. Either you get your energy to fulfill your own desires, see that path through to your own purpose, your life's work, your intention, whatever it is, or the pendulum gets it. This is people sitting at home all evening long watching Netflix instead of jumping in and creating something that is going to ultimately help them achieve some other reality where there's more or bigger and better things. So of course, we have these challenges, right, with all of these different entities trying to pull us, especially external ones. I mean, I'll get to the internal pendulums in a moment, but the external ones. And for those of you that did not read the Vadim Zeland interview, go to it, transurfing.us/member. He talks specifically, explicitly about the human mind not being capable of this level of information that is coming in. We are being bombarded constantly by continuous information and all this stuff with the gadgets and the TVs and the computers and the games and the this and the that. And this is all Pendulum City. Even you watching this video right now, this is a pendulum. Now, if you're taking something from this, and you're actually doing something with it, then that is a little bit of a different game. But if you are simply watching this for the sake of entertainment and you do not eventually turn it off and get up and go and follow this stuff, then it is all futile, right? Now I will talk a little bit on the inner stuff, right? The inner importance, the inner pendulum, the inner screen. So we either have the propensity to get sucked into the outer screen, get called by external pendulums, the prod of that external pendulum, or we have our tendency to fall into our mind, right? Overthinking, anxiety, worrying, really like daydreaming, living in another reality only in our head. So what is the answer to this stuff? The answer to this stuff is the center screen. I don't have my Tufty book here, but the answer is in the Tufty book. This is the center screen. This is you waking up, calling it out when you acknowledge a pendulum is in fact prodding you, right? I see myself. I see my reality, coming back to that center place of awareness and staying steady with your intentions. Even if your intention is to just have a more peaceful life or peaceful existence and not constantly be at the mercy of pendulums sending you on an emotional roller coaster of induced transitions and emotional ups and downs and upheavals and all of that stuff. So waking up, I see myself, I see my reality. As soon as you feel that prod coming from the pendulum, even if it's internal. So for me, if I start to daydream, I know that I'm not focused on the task at hand. I have fallen asleep back in my mind and I need to wake up. I see myself, I see my reality, and remain in the center screen until I complete that task, or I do that thing, or I take that step, or I make that phone call, or I film that video, or whatever it is. And then later on in the evening, when I'm in the bath, I can daydream and fall asleep and all that stuff. But if you are not living exactly what you want to be living right now, the reality, if your layer of reality isn't looking exactly the way you want it to look, then you are probably answering to the pendulum's prod more times than not. Also, I want to speak briefly before I end this video on the people pendulums, right? We do not have to engage in an energetically exhaustive manner by answering people that are prodding us to see some sort of result that they intend to see. This is you getting caught up in somebody else's script, and when you get caught up in somebody else's script, you lose your own script. So again, just like I stated with the energy, right? Either you get it or the pendulum gets it. It's one or the other. It's not both. You get it or the pendulum gets it. It's the exact same thing with this. So are you answering the pendulum's prod too much now? Are you still experiencing highs and lows and induced transitions, and you set an intention, even if it's just to have a better time in life, but you end up getting caught up maybe in dramas of other people, or dramas at work, or dramas with yourself, right? And how can you wake up the next time that a pendulum prods you and you simply state, I see myself, I see my reality, and I am going to ignore that prod right now and continue on with my script until I see the results that I want in my reality for me. So remember to like this video and comment below, I love Reality Transurfing, to enter my giveaway for my reprogramming stickers. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye.